When dedicating one's own life to the eradication of the darkness, it may tempt them to stay on that road for eternity, potentially neglecting why they chose to dedicate that life in the first place. Love. It is powerful, it is beautiful, but yet, it's also a curse. A curse that binds everyone's souls together through their families, friends, and loved ones that they've pledged their vows to. But don't get it twisted. By no means is this curse one to stare at with a negative outlook, but instead, let it serve as a reminder as to why we may do the things we do. What embodiments lie deep within the consciousness of these characters, it's what makes us human beings gifted with the will to live a life of fulfillment. Or at least try to. Though I am unequipped to handle a topic concerning representation within media, there are others that have dug deeper into that aspect far better than I could ever dig into. But, through the casual lens of someone like myself, it helps me contrast the differences between what a quote-unquote normal life could look like, and what a life of peril, complication, and isolation looks like, presenting itself in more than one version, showing the after effects of that negativity that they have endured. Without a doubt, these early experiences shape these individuals and will determine each of their own outlooks on life, thus potentially encouraging themselves to find their own family, successfully finding that family not within their own bloodlines, but those beyond that fence. Strength may exist when they filter themselves through assertiveness, power, and anger, their version of surviving, but reminders of a forgotten past, chiseling away that mask as they drown in regret, realizing that there may be some truth to what had been said. They didn't live the life that could have been blossoming for both themselves and their offspring, or ones they may have potentially pledged themselves to. They only lived with the intended goal of running from death's door when it opened right in front of them. Nothing can be done about those times that have come and gone. All that is left is the future, one where the offspring can potentially achieve what their parents could not. Those mistakes, those unchangeable tragedies that they wish they could have fixed, it's a cold, tough pill to swallow, but that doesn't mean right around the corner. There is indeed warmth to be found in the world, potentially observing what a real family looks like, so they can act on it themselves, since they still have a chance to. In other characters' cases, however, warmth may be a difficult thing to acquire, as a blazing inferno runs deep to the core, lashing out at those responsible for taking away his chance at love. A taste of vengeance is slowly developed over time when all he has to cope is his sword and memories of a person he can no longer physically touch or talk to. Later, he raises that sword against people who relish in the destruction of an important part of his life. As such, the temptation to indulge in vengeance is an exhilarating high that takes over any logical thought process, but once that high wears off, they're back to where they started. Small, helpless, and lost. Unable to find the courage to forgive themselves for what they tried to do, wishing it could have occurred any other way. However, there is still hope left. Friends are there to support each other, and it's through friends, especially friends that can damn well relate to what he's been through, that he was able to find the cure to not only his pain, but those he unintentionally put in harm's way, granting him a second chance to look back at what he had lost one last time before walking away a stronger individual granted relief. His anger finally quelled. Continuing the discussion of friendships and remembrance, there's an inspiration to seek out when often tending to the bonds that keep them together. It's easy to forget your place in the world and lay down everything once any semblance of hope begins to burn out. Whether if it's those who have been alive long enough to understand the ideologies of a huntsman and huntress, or peers who have supported each other since the start of their journey to fight, it's good to remember where they came from. The old may not be able to fight like they could back in their prime, but the knowledge passed down by the generation before her, the knowledge that helped her in her day, could be used to aid the current generation in their struggles, as they did not possess a figure who could have, if they were alive, taught them the ways of the silver-eyed warrior, while gently knocking some sense into them to take previous thoughts and build on them. Despite getting acquainted with one another very recently, the tone was set as their wisdom was passed down, encouraging them to think of the ones they love, to protect them, not destroy darkness. Keeping loved ones close to their heart meant no matter how much time has passed, they must never forget where they are, where they've been, and who they are. And this doesn't apply to only one character. It applies to many, as they have an emotional connection with people they care about, those they consider family and close friend. That is what separates them from a soulless machine programmed to fight for no other reason other than they were all manufactured and programmed to be one of a million and not one in a million. And to close off the video, maybe one day, whether if it's the fight for our world's pride or the grim of old, Maybe one day, the world will no longer need someone to take a stand. There's a future to be built. How and where we make it, it's up to us. We can't spend our entire lives on the battlefield. Maybe one day, we can look back at what we have done, either say one of two things on the lines of, I wish I'd done that a long time ago, or we did it. Keeping a dream alive isn't easy, and it's even easier to lay down and give in, especially when those who were here to sprout this beautiful idea in the first place have passed on and left us, whether if it's RWBY's world or our world. But against all odds, they persevere without their guidance, and that, I feel, is one of the most vital qualities of this show. The dream could have died with its creators, but that is a driving force that I am sure motivates those that are still here to give it their all, even against all odds. Whether they themselves doubt what they're doing, or backlash trying to shut them down, they dare to try despite that. And that's all that matters. Well, that's all for today. I'm gonna be honest, I was nervous putting this one together, but I think I got the beats of the video just right. So if you have anything to add to the conversation or want to share your thoughts on what I said today, or even point out anything I missed, let me know down in the comments below. Until next time everybody, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Take care.